Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. And today I rise to speak on the Economy and Infrastructure Committee inquiry into the impact of road safety behaviours on vulnerable road users. Now, this was an inquiry that I sat on in 2023, Deputy Speaker, and looked at the impact of road safety, particularly post-COVID, on vulnerable road users, so pedestrians, cyclists, all the users of roads who aren't in motor vehicles. And it was very insightful to understand some of the impacts of those road users, particularly when it came to pedestrians using our roads and how they felt safe and how those roads could be improved. Deputy Speaker, can I turn to recommendation 27 of the report, which recommends that the government look and review locations of pedestrian crossings to ensure links to public transport stops, activity centres and schools are safe for people to travel to and from those roads. Deputy Speaker, we know over recent times we've had some shocking incidents when it comes to traffic incidents, and we've seen very shocking loss of life in those circumstances. So it's always very important that we're constantly reviewing how we can improve our roads, and particularly how we can make sure that pedestrian crossings are in areas where they're most needed. And if I turn to my own electorate, in Barkers Road in Kew between Auburn Road and Glenferrie Road, there are a number of large schools, there are a number of childcare centres, there are a number of cafes, and in that stretch of road, Deputy Speaker, you may know it, there is not one pedestrian crossing to allow those, particularly school students, to cross the road safely. Now, there have been a number of near misses. There have been a number of instances where cars have veered off the road, even one circumstance where a car has veered off the road into where the cafe is located, where there was a young mother with her children in a pram, and it was a very near miss. Deputy Speaker, I've been working with the local community, the school community there, the small business owners there in Michael and Cynthia Pelosi, to make sure that we can put pressure on the Allan Labor government to put in place a pedestrian crossing on that stretch of road. We've had over 1,000 signatures of the petition, both one that's sitting in the local cafe and one online. It's so important that we see that pedestrian put in place as soon as possible, so the safety of those school students and locals is put first. Another very important pedestrian crossing in the local area is at the corner of Glenferrie and Cotham Roads on the number 16 tram route. It's a busy T intersection, it's a tram terminus there, and unfortunately the tram terminates just a little bit set back from the corner of that intersection where the pedestrian crossing is currently located. And this means we see every single day and every time there is a tram that stops and people are getting off the tram or getting on the tram, people darting across that road. And often, Deputy Speaker, it's school students travelling to and from school that are crossing that road and they're not crossing at the pedestrian crossing. There is a similar situation on Burke Road on the 72 tram where there are two pedestrian crossings to make sure that the safety of road users is put first. And that is a model we should be looking at implementing on the corner of Glenferrie and Cotham Roads as a priority, to make sure that those school students in particular are not crossing a road where there is no pedestrian crossing, and every single time when we've got cars doing a right turn into that road, their lives being put at risk. There is a petition that locals are circulating that's got hundreds of signatures, and I call on the Allan Labor government to really consider the implementation of that pedestrian crossing at that intersection. Deputy Speaker, two other important pedestrian crossings that really do fit under that recommendation of the report. Willsmere Road in Kew. It's a busy little shopping precinct. There's a very busy roundabout that sees a lot of flow traffic from the Eastern Freeway coming to and from. And unfortunately, there's no real safe way to cross that intersection. There's no real safe way to cross that roundabout. And so consideration of making sure a pedestrian crossing can be put there as well. And finally, on Bulleen Road, where I've been working with the local Bellevue Kindergarten. Now, as we know, young children crossing the road outside kinders is a very risky business at the best of times. But this is a stretch of road where we see traffic flying down towards the Eastern Freeway, towards the large expansion of that freeway with the North East Link, where only traffic volumes are going to increase. And there is no pedestrian crossing anywhere near the kindergarten or the park there. So the consideration of installing a pedestrian crossing on Bulleen Road is very important, and I call on the Allan Labor government to consider this. Just finally, Deputy Speaker, looking at recommendation 23 of the report, talking about the need to deliver accessible tram stops. Now, along the 48 and 109 trams within the electorate of Kew, there is not one accessible tram stop. Call on the government to actually invest in making sure people